in order to capture some of the opportunities the analytics have to offer you, you really need to do that in a cloud infrastructure.
Welcome back to the Bankers Masterclass series in association with CaixaBank, looking at digital transformation in banking. I'm Joy McKnight, Deputy Editor of The Banker, and I'm here with Mariona Vicens, Director of Strategic Development and Innovation at CaixaBank. In this chapter, we're going to look at the disruptive technologies that are impacting financial services, including artificial intelligence, blockchain, and cloud technology. Mariona, thanks so much for joining us today. What do you think, how is artificial intelligence really changing how banks can serve their clients?
Right now we already see artificial intelligence impacting the way we serve our customers in two very concrete ways. First of all, it is allowing us to harness value from the data in a way we could not do before. And secondly, we see more and more new developments in terms of new solutions that allow us to assist both employees and customers in different ways. If we focus in machine learning applied to how we use it to analyze data, what we see is that we can improve significantly the way we develop our risk models and the targeting of our offers, as well as our marketing campaigns, for example. We are also experimenting and see a lot of value in being able to use machine learning in exploiting data that we could not use before. We have examples in unstructured data, like the way we can analyze text or even images, and this would not be possible without the developments of artificial intelligence linked together with big data, of course. In new applications and solutions, what we also see is the potential in virtual assistants that you may have in your mobile or in your web channel. And you would be able to interact in a pretty friendly way with these assistants. We already have some examples like Siri in our daily lives, and I think we are going to see more and more these type of solutions also applied to banking, for example.
Okay, and I know CaixaBank is doing some work with IBM Watson. What are you doing with that?
So our relationship with IBM and Watson is actually quite long now. We started before IBM decided to bring Watson into Spanish. And when they decided that they wanted to develop Watson in a different language rather than English, they asked us for some help in providing them a use case and work with us in bringing the technology into Spanish. So we started working with IBM Labs in helping them in tuning the technology. And what we did was an application to help our employees to assist them when dealing with products and processes related to trade finance. That's a complex process and a complex product to sell to our business and corporate segment. And it was pretty much well received for our employees. What we then did with IBM is help them to identify improvements they could do in the technology to make it easier to scale it up. The main challenge for the technology is still the training process you go through. And right now we are basically helping them in that front and also trying to see how we scale up the technology in the bank. We are working in bringing the technology to all our employees as a cognitive call center. So when customers or employees have a question, instead of just calling the call center, they can have a virtual assistant that can help us through the process. And hopefully they don't have to end up calling the call center.
Okay, and let's switch to another new technology, which is blockchain. There's a huge amount of hype around blockchain. Where do you think it will make the biggest impact on banking and financial services?
As you just mentioned, we really see blockchain having a lot of potential in disrupting basically the way bank processes and the infrastructure we are using, it's going to work in the future. But having said that, we still see some challenges that need to be overcome to really capture the opportunities of the technology. In terms of potential, there are two main areas. The first one being where we still have intermediaries or where we also have a lot of manual checks in processes. And in here we have concrete examples like international payments that still carry significant amount of work and it's not in real time. As one area of potential application, we also see it will have an impact in helping regulators and also institutions to gain transparency in certain markets. And then, for example, it may be useful concretely in understanding the reuse of certain assets. But both applications, or the type of applications that are really disruptive in the use of blockchain, require a fair amount of collaboration among institutions and also among institutions and regulators. So it may take some time to materialize really the benefits that we see that you can obtain from the technology.
Okay. And cloud computing, that's another area which is seeing greater uptake. What do you think is some of the main barriers still that apply to cloud computing?
So cloud it's been there for a while. We see barriers, but I also want to be positive and optimistic because we see how the technology is developing to overcome those barriers. But we still see security is one of the major concerns. The fact that banks need to move data outside their own data centers, and in some cases we have constraints or questions from regulators depending on where the data centers are located, and it requires a change also in the regulator to be fully capable to capture all the opportunity that cloud has to offer. So we still have security. It's getting better. Technology is providing us new solutions like private cloud and hybrid cloud, but we still have some limitations. The second challenge we face, and this is linked to big data and analytics, is the integration of cloud analytics specifically with transactional systems. This is not yet solved, and it also slows down the application of cloud analytics in certain areas of the bank, for example. And the third one, which I think it's more recent, is about governance of cloud. Because we are all using probably different clouds and also different type of clouds between public, private, hybrid. Then we also need to think which will be the architecture and infrastructure to manage all these platforms. And this is also something that it's being developed right now. So it will take some time still to finalize the discussion and to capture all the potential.
Yeah, but then you also talk about the opportunity of cloud. So what do you say is the biggest opportunity?
I think cloud gives you a level and amount of flexibility, and going back to our first discussion in artificial intelligence, some of the analytics right now you would never be able to implement on premises because of the amount of data it requires, or the cost it is going to have if you want to develop that on premises. It's just not efficient. So in order to capture some of the opportunities the analytics have to offer you, you really need to do that in a cloud infrastructure.
Okay. And my last question is around outside of these new technologies, what sort of needs to be done to help banks transform themselves?
I think it's all linked together a little bit, but together with the technology, you require or you need a new set of capabilities. You need to incorporate new talent and people that is a specialist in areas that are new to the bank. And then more and more we see the need of new ways of working, cross teams. Also, I would say much more collaboration and working together between traditional business teams and technology teams, which is already happening also in other industries. That would probably be the main two changes you need to couple together with technology.
Great. Thank you so much, Mariona.
Thank you.